out here. I've been doing really well. I'm fresh off a flight this morning from Japan into here, so it's been a long day, but I couldn't be more excited to help unveil a wonderful driver, that has been in development for the last 3 years that I've had a hand in, and it's just really exciting to see come to fruition today.
저희가 방금 소개된 영상에서 마지막 숫자가 바로 579야드였습니다. 이게 정말로 579야드를 기록한 건지 그때 상황도 좀 설명을 해주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
Yeah, so that was achieved that about a month before the World Championship last year, and it was quite a tight shave because I wanted to help launch this new YouTube channel, and there's this golf course in the United States, state of Wyoming, that has a lot of altitude, and it was definitely where I wanted to do it. So we got the team together. It was early October, about 3 weeks before the World Championship. A little chilly, but we got the wind we needed, and yeah, I knew when I hit it. It was pretty much the hardest golf ball I've ever hit in my life. Carried a little over 510 yards, ran out about 60, 70 yards, and we're going to be going back there in a couple months with the dark speed to crack the 600-yard barrier.
뭔가 날씨가 조금 더 좋았더라면 더 좋은 기록을 기록할 수도 있었을 텐데라고 아쉬움도 표해 줬는데요. 본인이 정말 최고로 목표로 하는 거리도 궁금하고요. 또 그렇게 엄청난 비거리를 낼 수 있는 비결도 궁금합니다.
So my goal is always to hit the ball further and further, and that's why it's been such a wonderful joy to be included so closely from the engineers and the rest of Cobra with developing this driver. I've been involved with Cobra for 3 years now, and drivers are typically developed in a 3-year development cycle. So this is the first one that I have had a hand in from conception to actualization. So I'm extremely proud to bring this to market, and I fully believe that this is going to give me the best possible chance of taking home my 4th World Championship at the end of this year. And you know, with regards to my goals for distance, it's just to go further and further every day and every year, and to continue refining and improving the craft, and you know, push the limits of what human beings are capable of. That's what we're all here for, and it's a ton of fun to do.
네, 제가 목표 치수도 물어봤는데 더 멀리 치는 것이, 매번 멀리 치는 것이 목표다라고 계속해서 욕심을 또 드러내줬습니다. 비거리를 멀리 보내는 방법에 대해서는 확실한 대답을 해주진 않으셨는데요. 방법도 좀 공개를 해주시죠.
Yeah, so obviously everybody wants to learn how to hit the ball further. It's kind of the white whale of golf. You know, you want to hit it further and straighter. And you know, the two things I would say, because the first thing I want to say is building and developing speed is a very personal journey because we're all different. We have different bodies, we have different minds, and we have different ways to see the world, and that really does affect our ability to generate speed. But the two most common things that I see that can help anybody is the first thing is doing speed training 3 times a week. That's kind of my protocol. Start hitting about 30 to 50 balls as hard as you possibly can, and with no concern about where the ball will go or how you're going to strike it. Because a lot of golfers, they very rarely ever hit a driver with the intention to hit it as far as possible. There's always some kind of guardrail on it. You want to hit it in the fairway, or you want to hit it somewhat straight. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. And the second thing I'd recommend, you know, is gym work. You know, I do a bodybuilding split called push-pull legs. There's tons of variations of it on the internet, and all of them work really well. So a combination of training my nervous system to fire faster by doing speed training, and building up my body with nutritious food, and building up muscle that can help me fire my body faster has led to a lot of speed on my part, and it'll work for pretty much anybody else out there who wants to swing the club faster.
이제 보니까요, 굉장히 솔직하게 비법을 다 전수해 주시고 갈 것 같은데 아마도 전 세계 골퍼들이 가장 궁금해할 질문일 것 같은데요. 현재 사용하고 있는 드라이버의 모델명과 그리고 스펙도 공개해주고 가시죠.
Yeah, so you know, we're still in the experimental phase for the long drive season this year in terms of the dart speed. But we've got a pretty good idea of what we want. It's definitely going to be an LS version, obviously, and somewhere between 2 to 6, 7 degrees, depending upon conditions and what I'm trying to do with the golf ball. And you know, a CT of about 230 to 235. It's a pretty fast head. It helps give me some ball speed, and gonna probably have a regular flex shaft to help me get a little more speed with the shaft kicking at impact. And but yeah, it's gonna be dark speed all the way. It's going straight to the bag. I think it's the greatest driver that's ever been created.
네, 여러분들도 아까 살짝 들으셨어요. R 레귤러 살짝 들으셨을 거예요. 그런데 장타자가 이렇게 R 샤프트를, 소프트한 샤프트를 쓰는 거에 대한 이유를 좀 설명을 좀 듣고 싶은데 설명해 주실 수 있을까요?
Yeah, so you know when I first came into the sport, the prevailing, I guess, way that people competed was the stiffer the shaft, the long drive, the more control it gave you. But what I found through experimentation was that a regular flex shaft or a shaft a little softer flex than something like a triple X or a quadruple X, which is just crazy. Your misses would be bigger, but the amount of balls in play in the grid would still be very close to what you would get. In a long drive, we do not care if you miss the grid by 200 yards or by 2 yards, it's still an OB ball. So I also found that the regular flex shaft, because it kicks pretty hard, it actually increases the club speed at impact. So I get some increased ball speed, and I also have almost the same amount of balls in play. Now, to be clear, when I play regular golf, the quality of your misses do matter. If you're 2 yards into the rough versus 50 yards into the woods, that matters. So I actually play a much stiffer shaft, 2x flex in golf. So that's kind of why there's a difference between the two.
계속해서 코브라를 믿고 본인의 한계에 도전을 하고 있는데요. 얼마나 많은 브랜드를 테스트를 해봤을까요? 그 브랜드를 다 테스트한 이후에 코브라로 정착한 이후에 계속해서 코브라를 선택한 이유가 있다면 특별한 이유가 있을까요?
Yeah, so my first couple of years in the sport, you know, I was listening to different brands, but at the end of 2021, about halfway through 2021, I started kind of noticing that, you know, Bryce and Shambo and you involved Cobra, we became pretty friends. And I started to get to be exposed to the culture of Cobra. I've always done things a little differently. You know, a lot of my friends, they grew up, they played professional golf, and I've grown up and I've gone into long drive, and I've always identified with how Cobra does things. They're mavericks in the field of developing drivers and other clubs. They challenge what's considered normal, and they're always looking for something new, and they're always innovating. And that's the kind of people I want to be around. That's how I've always based myself. So it was a very natural match when we came together in 2021. And you know, ever since then, we've been in very close contact with developing the best heads we can develop, the best clubs we can develop, and you know, the culture of the work of always pushing boundaries, never settling for average, always wanting to be the best. That's really something that I identify with, and that's why this partnership has been so good for many years now.
코브라를 사용하면서 점점 더 기록이 좋아지는 걸 저희도 함께 확인하실 수 있는 것 같고요. 오늘 함께한 시간은 여기까지 하도록 하겠습니다. 마지막으로 저에게 해주실 수 있는 말씀이 있다면 마지막 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
Yeah, so I guess the last thing I want to touch on is a lot of things that we developed with this dark speed head specifically. So the two biggest benefits to the normal golfer, because obviously we want to design it for, you know, those at the professional level, but the biggest thing is to have the amateur in mind in the normal golfer. A slightly different metal mix is going to allow for a much more substantial sweet spot where you're going to get a really good smash factor. And as I'm sure they showed in the presentation, the driver is a few cubic centimeters smaller and a little more aerodynamic, so you're going to have increased club speed as well. So more forgiveness with miss hits on ball speed and a slightly faster club head speed as well. So those two things are going to give everybody more distance, and that's one of the reasons we could not be more excited to bring this driver to the world.
네, 여러분 카일과 함께하는 시간은 여기서 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 먼저 제 옆에 계신 두 분은요, 롱 드라이브 선수로도 유명하시고 유튜브에서도 많이 보셨던 분이기도 합니다. 킹라바님 그리고 박경영 프로님이신데 먼저 킹라바님께서는 이미 공개를 많이 하셨겠지만 최고 기록 좀 말씀해 주실 수 있을까요?
저는 이제 시합 때 416야드가 이제 시합 중 나온 최고 기록입니다.
또 여자 롱드라이브 선수로 활동하시잖아요.
네.
기록을 좀
저도 일단 공식 기록은 322야드입니다.
와, 저희보다 멀리 치네요, 확실히. 네.
Are you listening?
그렇죠. 그다음에 와, 와, 이거 잘 맞는 것 같은데. 여기까지 해서 요거는
400이다. 진짜 400.
450점.